The vice principal turns her screen toward me and taps one line with her finger. "You can't pick her up anymore." The words hang there. The printer hums behind the counter. A mother to my left tightens her grip on a backpack strap. No one moves. I don't either. The screen stays angled toward me. My name sits below a gray line, marked not authorized. Above it, her father's name fills the box. The vice principal doesn't explain. She just waits, fingers still touching the glass, like the record will start talking if I don't. A clock over the front desk clicks to the next minute. I hear the scrape of a chair somewhere behind me. I keep my hands flat on the counter so they don't shake. "I'm her mother," I say. It comes out steady, like I'm ordering coffee. The vice principal looks past me, not at me. We're following the file. A secretary lifts a laminated pickup tag from a hook and sets it down, face up. My daughter's name. The wrong color strip. The wrong list. A student aide pauses with a stack of folders, eyes flicking from the screen to my face. Then away. I take a breath and let it out slowly. I don't reach for the tag. I don't raise my voice. I can feel the weight of people behind me, the way lines turn into audiences. "Can you tell me why?" I ask. She closes her lips, then opens them again. I can't discuss details at the counter. The words are careful. Procedural. The kind that end conversations without sounding like they do. My phone buzzes in my coat pocket. I don't check it. The screen in front of me still shows the same thing. The vice principal finally lowers her hand. "Please step aside," she says, already turning to the next parent. I move to the wall. A poster about kindness peels at the corner. The office door opens and closes as kids file out, coats too big, shoelaces trailing. My daughter doesn't come through. A uniform appears at the edge of my vision, then another. One officer stays near the door. The other speaks quietly with the vice principal, nodding once. I can't hear the words, but I see the way the secretary's shoulders lift, then drop. The officer turns toward me. He doesn't raise his voice. "Ma'am, we need you to wait here." "Is my child okay?" I ask. "She's safe," he says. He doesn't add anything else. I press my back to the wall and look at the floor tiles. Someone coughs. A parent whispers. I don't answer the phone when it buzzes again. A few minutes later, the vice principal returns with a thin stack of papers clipped together. She holds them like they might bite. "There's been a change to the emergency contacts," she says. "We have to verify." "Verify what?" I ask. She glances at the officer. "Records. That's it. No accusation. No explanation. Just records." I nod once. My mouth tastes like metal. I think about the calendar entry on my fridge at home, today circled in blue. Pickup day. I think about the after-school fee I'll probably be charged if this drags on. I think about my daughter sitting in a room somewhere, watching the door. The vice principal tucks the papers back under her arm. "We'll call you," she says. I don't argue. I don't plead. I don't say his name. I stand there until the line thins and the office quiets, until the clock clicks again and again. Then the officer steps closer, lowering his voice. "There's a reference number," he says, handing me a small card. "In case you need it." I take the card and slide it into my pocket without looking. When the door closes behind the last child, the office feels too big. The screen on the counter goes dark. No one tells me what happens next. My phone starts ringing before I even make it to my car. I sit in the driver's seat, with the reference card still in my pocket, keys cold in my hand. The school parking lot is half empty now. A few parents stand in small knots by their trunks, not leaving yet, like the end of the day turned into something else. The caller ID shows the school's main number. I answer on the first ring. This is her mom. The voice on the other end is the secretary from the window. I recognize it by the clipped way she says words, like she's reading them off a list. "Miss Harper, please don't come back inside. The vice principal will call you." "Everyone." "I'm not trying to go inside," I say. My fingers tighten around the steering wheel. "I'm trying to pick up my child. Where is she?" "She's in the counselor's office," the secretary says, and then softer, "She's okay." "Why are the police there?" I ask. There's a pause. I can hear paper shifting, a drawer opening and closing. "It's procedure," she says. "Anytime there's a dispute at pickup." A dispute. I repeat, like I'm tasting the word. "Who said there's a dispute?" Another pause. "I'm not allowed to discuss that." The line goes dead. I stare at my dashboard clock. 3:41. It's still bright outside, but my hands feel like it's midnight. A second call comes in, not from the school. My ex. I let it ring twice. 3 times. The notification buzzes against my palm. I flip the phone face down in the cup holder like that will quiet the whole world. I drive home anyway, because sitting there makes me feel like I'm doing something wrong. At the first red light, I glance at the reference card the officer gave me. A name, a badge number, a short code that doesn't tell a story. It just marks that a story exists. At home, I don't take my coat off. I set my keys in the same ceramic bowl by the door, but the sound is sharper than usual. My kitchen is exactly how I left it, a lunchbox on the counter. A sticky note from this morning. Library book. I open the fridge and see the calendar on the side, the one with the magnets shaped like fruit. Today's square is circled. Pickup. Me. Blue ink. My handwriting. I take a photo of it with my phone, then stop, realizing how ridiculous that feels. Like a picture of a circle is going to matter against whatever file they're talking about. My phone buzzes again. This time it's a text. Don't make this harder. School has instructions. No greeting. No child's name. Just control, wrapped in a sentence. I don't reply. I pull up the co-parenting app we were told to use after mediation. Most of our messages are boring. Drop-off times. Who bought shoes? Who has the dentist receipt? The kind of stuff you're supposed to keep neutral. His last message from earlier today, before pickup, is shorter than usual. Confirm you'll be there at 3:30. I scroll down to older threads. There's a spot from last month where he asked, out of nowhere, for updated school access. I remember answering with one line, "You already have access. I'm listed too." At the time, it felt like nothing. Now it feels like a warning I didn't hear. My hands start to sweat. I wipe them on my jeans and open my email. I search the school's name. I search emergency contact. I search authorized pickup. Nothing recent. There's a single automated email from the start of the year. Please review your student information for accuracy. I click it. The link is expired. Of course it is. I call the school again. It goes to voicemail. I call the district office number I find on the website. A recorded voice tells me their business hours. I hang up before it finishes. The house is too quiet without her. I walk from the kitchen to the living room and back again, like movement might create an answer. I pick up her little sneakers by the couch and line them up neatly, then realize I'm doing it to keep my hands busy. At 4:12, the vice principal finally calls. "Miss Harper," she says, same calm tone, same distance. "We need to verify the custody and pickup records before releasing your daughter." "Verify with who?" I ask. "With the contacts on file," she says. "With her father," I say, because she won't. She doesn't deny it. "We will follow procedure." I keep my voice even. "What exactly changed?" Another careful pause. "Emergency contact and release permissions," she says. "When?" I ask. "I'm looking at a timestamp," she says, and then she reads it like it's weather. "This morning." My stomach drops, but my face stays still. "This morning," I repeat. "Yes," she says, "and because your daughter asked questions about it today, we have to treat it seriously." I look at the lunchbox on my counter. The library note. The blue circle on the calendar. "One question," I say, and I hear the edge in my own voice for the first time. The vice principal doesn't respond to that. She only says, "We'll call you when we have clearance." Then she hangs up. I stand in my kitchen holding the phone, listening to the silence after the call, and I realize something that makes my throat tighten. If he could change the school record this morning, he could do it again tomorrow. At 6 p.m. PF, my email pings with a subject line that looks like it was written by a machine. After school care daily charge notice. I open it standing at the kitchen counter, the phone balanced against the salt shaker because my hands won't stay steady. A PDF loads. My daughter's name, today's date, a late pickup fee, an extended care charge like I chose to forget her. I screenshot it, then tap forward and back like the numbers might change. My phone buzzes again. Another message from my ex. Same tone, same control. "You're making a scene at school. Stop." I don't answer. Instead, I open my calendar app and pull up the custody schedule we agreed to in mediation. It's boring. Alternating weeks, school pickup split, holidays written out in plain language. Today says I'm the pickup parent. It's right there. Like it always has been. I take a screenshot of that too. Two images sit next to each other in my camera roll now. One showing I'm responsible for pickup, the other showing I failed to pick up. My life reduced to a contradiction. I try the school again. Voicemail. I try the counselor's extension the secretary gave me years ago. A recorded voice says, "This mailbox is full." I stare at the phone screen until it goes dim and then dark. There's a knock on my door a few minutes later. Not hard, not friendly, just firm enough to make my body go tight. Through the peephole, I see the outline of a uniform and the shine of a badge. I open the door with the chain still on. "Miss Harper?" the officer asks. It's the same one from earlier. His voice is lower now, like we're the only two people left on Earth. "Yes." He holds up his hands, palms out. "You're not in trouble. I need to document that you were advised of the situation." Advised, I repeat. I keep my face blank, even though my heartbeat is loud in my ears. He glances down at a small notebook. "School called for a custody-related dispute. We responded. They issued you a reference number." "I know," I say. I tap my pocket where the card is, like it's proof I exist. He nods. "Do you have a court order saying you can't pick up your child?" "No." "Do you have any pending protective order?" he asks. "No," I say again, slower. "No, there's nothing like that. It's no same." He looks at me for a second, like he's deciding whether to say the next part. "The school told us their records were changed," he says. "They're treating it as a safety issue until they confirm." "Confirm what?" I ask. My voice stays level, but the words come out sharper. He doesn't answer directly. "They said they contacted the father." I let that sit between us. Behind him, the street is quiet. A neighbor's porch light flicks on. Somewhere down the block, a dog barks once, then stops. I reach for the chain and unhook it, then open the door all the way. Not because I trust him, but because I'm tired of being managed through cracks. "Can you tell me if there's anything in your system?" I ask. "Anything filed against me?" He shakes his head. "Not that I can see from what we have today. This was a call for service." "A call for service," I echo, the same way I echoed dispute. He looks past me into my living room, where my daughter's backpack is still on the couch from yesterday, half unzipped. "Your child is currently with the school," he says. "They're allowed to hold her briefly if they believe there's a risk." "Risk," I repeat. It lands wrong in my mouth. He scribbles something, then tears a small slip from a pad. He holds it out. "Here's my name. If anything escalates, call non-emergency and reference today's case number." End quote. I take cited is videos to the long dollars. I take the slip and fold it once, then twice, and set it on the entry table next to the ceramic key bowl. Paper on paper. Procedure stacked on procedure. "Do you know who changed the school record?" I ask. He pauses. "That's internal. They have an admin system. Whoever has access can request changes." "Whoever," I say, and it almost sounds like a joke. He shifts his weight. "I'm not here to take sides." "I'm not asking you to," I say. "I'm asking you if my daughter is coming home tonight." His expression tightens. "Just a little. That's between you and the school." He leaves after that, walking down my steps without looking back. The door clicks shut behind him. The house feels smaller. At 7-Eleven, my daughter's tablet lights up on the couch. A school app notification. "Student information, update reminder. Please confirm your contact details." I stare at it. Same generic message every family gets. Except now, it feels like a threat. I pick up the tablet and open the app. It asks for my login. I type my password. It rejects it. I try again. Slower. Rejected. A third time. Rejected. I set the tablet down gently, like it might break, and my eyes go to my phone. If he changed the school record this morning, I thumb open the co-parenting app. My message field is empty. My cursor blinks, waiting. I don't type. I don't call. I don't beg. I turn the phone face down on the table and walk to the window. A car pulls up across the street. Headlights sweep the living room wall. For a second, my body moves on its own, like it expects her to be stepping out with her backpack. But the car keeps going, and I realize I don't just need her released from the school. I need to get my name back into the system that decides whether I'm her mother. The next morning, I'm at the school 10 minutes before the office opens. I sit in my car with the engine off, and my hands around a paper coffee cup I didn't even want. The steam keeps fogging the windshield in little bursts. I wipe a clear circle with my sleeve and watch the front doors. At 7:58, a custodian unlocks the main entrance. At 8:02, the secretary flips the office sign from closed to open. I wait until the first bell's still far enough away that the hallway isn't full of kids. When I walk in, I keep my phone in my coat pocket, not as a weapon, just as a weight. The secretary looks up like she recognizes me and wishes she didn't. I'm here for a copy of my daughter's contact record. I say calm, like this is normal, like I'm asking for an attendance slip. She presses her lips together. Her eyes flick to the vice principal's door, then back to me. We don't usually print that for parents without. Without what? I ask, not louder, just clearer. She reaches for a clipboard anyway. The laminated pickup tags hang behind her, all color-coded like they're neutral. She flips the clipboard around and taps a line with her pen. Sign in. I sign my name. The pen squeaks at the end of the last letter. The sound is too loud in the empty office. She disappears into the back for a minute and comes out holding a single sheet of paper like it's sensitive. She slides it across the counter but keeps 2 fingers on the top edge, not letting go. I don't snatch it. I pull it toward me slowly with my fingertips. It's the same format I've seen before at the beginning of every school year. Student name at the top. Address. Parent contacts. Emergency contacts. And right there, under authorized release, my name is printed with a notation next to it. Restricted. Do not release. I stare at that word until it stops looking like English. Above it, her father's name sits alone under primary contact, his phone number, his email, his workplace. My phone buzzes in my pocket. I don't check it. Who marked me restricted? I ask. The secretary's fingers tighten on the paper like she's holding it down so it can't fly away. I can't answer that. Is it a mistake? I ask. She swallows. We processed a change. I lean in just enough to read the small gray text near the bottom of the printout, the kind of line nobody reads unless they have to. Last updated. 1/19/9, 14 a.m. Updated by R. Simmons. My stomach shifts. It's the same morning the vice principal said it happened. A time, a name, not his, but someone inside. I tap the line with my finger. Who is R. Simmons? The secretary's eyes drop to where I'm pointing, then lift again, guarded. That's our registrar. And why would the registrar restrict a mother, I ask. I keep my voice flat, the way you do when you're trying not to get labeled as difficult. The secretary's cheeks go pink. We had a request. A request from who? I ask. She looks past me toward the lobby like she's hoping someone walks in and breaks this moment in half. Nobody does. I can't, she says again. I nod once, like I'm accepting it, but my hand moves to the top of the page, where the school's letterhead is printed. I take a photo, then another, closer, focusing on the timestamp and the updated by line. The secretary watches me do it. She doesn't stop me. That's my child, I say, not as a speech, just as a fact, like naming a wall. She shifts her weight. We're following what's in the system. I hear a door open down the hall. A teacher's voice. The school waking up. My phone buzzes again. This time I pull it out, not to argue, but because I need to see what I already know. A message from him, sent at 7:31 a.m. You're not on the list. Don't embarrass yourself. I don't show it to the secretary. I don't reply. I slide my phone back into my pocket and fold the printout along the crease. Neat. Controlled. The paper feels thin for something that can erase you. One more thing, I say, looking at the secretary. Can I speak to the registrar? R. Simmons. Her eyes widen a fraction. She's not in yet. What time is she in? I ask. The secretary hesitates, then glances at the clock behind her. 9. It's 8:12. I nod again, like I'm leaving, but I don't go back to my car. I sit on the hard plastic bench in the lobby, with the folded printout in my purse and the timestamp burned into my head. Kids start pouring in with backpacks and wet hair, and parents who still get to be parents without proving it. At 8:47, the front door opens again. A woman steps in, carrying a manila folder under her arm, keyring jangling. She heads straight for the office window without looking around. I stand up. She doesn't look like someone who enjoys conflict. The registrar, R. Simmons, if the line on the printout is telling the truth, has a tight bun and a travel mug that says, State Champs. She walks like she's already late for something. Folder tucked to her ribs. Keys clicking against her wrist. I step into her path before she can reach the counter. "Miss Simmons?" I ask. She stops, eyes flicking over me, the way office people do when they're deciding if you're a problem or a calendar item. "Yes? My name is Harper," I say. "I need to know why I'm marked restricted on my daughter's record." Her face changes in a small, controlled way like she's slid a mask down. "We don't discuss student records in the lobby." "I'm not asking in the lobby," I say. "I'm asking you." She turns slightly toward the secretary's window, like she wants backup. "Do you have an appointment?" I pull my purse closer and take out the folded printout, but I don't unfold it all the way. I keep my finger on the bottom line. "Last updated yesterday at 9:14, I say. "Updated by you." Her eyes drop to the paper despite herself. "Where did you get that?" "The front office printed it," I say. "Because I requested it." Her mouth tightens. "That's not standard." "It's also not standard for a mother to be told she can't pick up her child," I say. I keep my voice level. A couple of parents walk past us toward the office window. I feel their attention tug, then drift away. Miss Simmons shifts her folder higher against her arm. "Let's go into my office," she says. The office isn't really an office. It's a small room off the main hallway with a desk, a printer, and 2 chairs that are too close together. A stack of enrollment packets leans against the wall like it's tired. She gestures to the chair across from her desk. I sit. The chair legs scrape the tile, loud in the quiet. She sits too, sets her travel mug down, and opens the manila folder. "Which student?" she asks, like she doesn't already know. I say my daughter's name. Miss Simmons types into her computer. I watch her hands instead of her face. Quick. Practiced. The kind of hands that can change a record and move on to the next. "There's a restriction note," she says. "I saw it," I reply. She clicks again. "We received a request." I stare at her. "From who?" She pauses, then leans back slightly. "From the father." I let the silence sit between us. I keep my hands in my lap. I don't grip the edges of the chair. I don't give her anything she can write down as agitated. "Thanks for watching." "What exactly did he request?" I ask. Miss Simmons scrolls. "He submitted an update saying there was a custody concern and that release to you should be restricted pending verification." "Verification by whom?" I ask. She looks up at me like I should understand. "We ask for documentation." "I didn't get asked," I say. Her eyes dip back to the screen. "The request came in yesterday morning. We contacted the numbers on file." "The numbers on file," I repeat. "The ones he changed." Miss Simmons presses her lips together. A little flush rises in her cheeks. "You changed my access based on his message," I say, still calm. "And then the school called the police when I showed up for pickup." Her fingers hover over the keyboard. "The police call was procedure," I cut in, using her language. Not loud, just firm. She exhales through her nose. "Yes." I lean forward a little. "Show me the request." Her eyes flick to the door like she's checking if anyone can hear. Then she reaches into the folder and pulls out a printed form. A district template. Student data change request. Boxes checked. Lines filled in. I don't grab it. I wait until she slides it across the desk. At the bottom is a signature line. A scrawl I've seen 1,000 times on permission slips and mediation paperwork. And next to a checkbox labeled Restrict Release To, my name is typed in. My throat tightens, but I keep my face still. "There, Miss Simmons says, like pointing at the form makes it neutral. That's what we received." I take a photo of the top half first, then the bottom half, then the signature. "What documentation did he provide?" I ask. Miss Simmons taps the edge of the paper with one fingernail. "He said he'd forward the court order." "And did he?" I ask. She doesn't answer right away. My phone buzzes in my pocket. I don't check it. I don't need to. I can feel his timing in the room, like he's watching from somewhere I can't see. Miss Simmons finally says quieter. "No." I sit back in the chair, letting that one word land. "So you restricted me without an order," I say. "Not as an accusation. As a record." She straightens in her seat. "We can't take risks." "You took a risk," I say, "and it wasn't with him." Her eyes harden. Just a little. "If you have documentation, you can submit it." "I have a schedule," I say. "And I have proof I was denied pickup." And I have this form. I tap the paper once, then fold my hands again. Miss Simmons looks at the computer screen like it might rescue her. We can request a review through the vice principal. Today, I say. She hesitates. We need time. I nod once, like I accept that. But I don't stand up. I don't argue. I don't beg. I open my purse, take out the officer's reference card, and place it on her desk next to the change request form. Miss Simmons stares at it. Her eyes move from the badge number to my face. You're documenting, she says. I'm collecting. I correct. And my voice stays flat. Her fingers tighten around her pen. I'll email the vice principal and the district office. We'll schedule a meeting. I watch her type. The click of keys feels like something finally moving in the right direction. Then she adds, almost as an afterthought, until then the restriction stays. I don't react. I just reach out, take the change request form back, and slide it into my purse like it's evidence in a folder. As I stand, Miss Simmons says, if your daughter asks more questions at school, staff will redirect her. Redirect her from what? I ask. Miss Simmons doesn't answer. I walk out into the hallway, past a bulletin board covered in kids' drawings. Bright suns. Stick figure families. And I realize the next fight isn't just about pickup. It's about what they're telling my daughter when I'm not there to hear it. By noon, the school still hasn't called me back with anything that sounds like an answer. I'm at my kitchen table with a manila folder open in front of me like I'm pretending to be organized. The after-school care invoice is clipped to the inside with a grocery store binder clip. The contact roster printout sits on top, folded where the word restricted is creased like it's meant to be permanent. I write the timestamp on a sticky note anyway. 1/19/9/14A, M.R. Simmons. Then I write it again on the back, slower, like repetition will make it harder to erase. My phone buzzes with an email notification. Subject: Parent Meeting Student Release Verification. From School Counselor. I open it immediately. It's short and clean, like it was copied from a template. They've scheduled me for 2:30 p.m. today. Conference room. Vice Principal and Counselor present. To review safety protocols and student release procedures. No mention of my ex's request. No mention of the lack of a court order. Just procedure stacked on procedure. At the bottom, one sentence makes my jaw tighten. Please bring any relevant custody documentation. Like I'm the one who failed to supply it. I forward the email to myself again, another account, then take a screenshot. It's petty, but it's also how I breathe right now. Make a record. Keep moving. My phone buzzes again. A message from him. Meeting won't help. You're still restricted. I don't respond. I open the co-parenting app and scroll up to the message where he asked me to confirm pickup. I screenshot that. Then the message from this morning, don't embarrass yourself. Screenshot. I don't need him to admit anything. I need the timeline to be undeniable. At 1:10 p.m., I drive to a family law office a friend once mentioned, a small place in a strip mall between a dentist and a tax prep storefront. The sign out front is plain. Law offices in faded letters. Inside, a receptionist slides a clipboard toward me without looking up. The pen is chained to it. I fill out my name, my daughter's name, and a short description that makes my throat feel tight. School restricted pickup. Police called. No court order. When the attorney comes out, she's younger than I expected, hair pulled back, reading glasses perched on top of her head. She leads me into a room with a round table and a box of tissues no one touches. I'm not here to start a war, I say before she can even ask. I place my folder on the table and push it toward her. She flips it open, eyes moving fast. Tell me what happened yesterday, she says. I give her the timeline like it's a report. The front office, the screen, the words, you can't pick her up anymore, the police, the reference card, the late pickup invoice, the change request form, the registrar admitting no order was provided. The attorney doesn't react much. She just listens and keeps turning pages. When I finish, she taps the change request form with her pen. This is the problem, she says. They treated his statement as fact. They said it was safety, I reply. Safety is what institutions use when they don't want liability, she says, still calm. But it doesn't replace a court order. She looks up at me. Do you have the mediation schedule in writing? I slide my phone across the table and show her the screenshot. She nods once. Okay. Then she says the words I've been trying not to think about. If he's building a record, He's using the school as the first page. My stomach turns. What do I do? I ask. She doesn't give me a speech. She reaches into her desk and pulls out a printed form with her letterhead. She slides it toward me like it's just another piece of paper. We send a notice to the school and district, she says. We request the change log, the request submission, and any communications from him. And we make it clear. Absent a court order, you are a custodial parent with pickup rights. She pauses, then adds, and you stop trying to explain yourself verbally. You submit records. I nod. That part feels like relief, a way to move without pleading. Back in my car, I sit for a minute with her business card in my lap, thumb rubbing the embossed letters. I think about the counselor's email again, safety protocols. I think about my daughter in that counselor's office being redirected when she asks questions. At 2:24 p.m., I walk into the school office for the meeting. The secretary points to the sign-in clipboard without speaking. I sign. The pen squeaks again. A plastic visitor badge gets pressed into my palm. The adhesive is too strong. It sticks to my sweater when I try to adjust it. The vice principal appears at the hallway door. She doesn't smile. She just gestures. The conference room is the same small one from years ago, the one with the oval table and the stack of laminated handouts. The counselor sits with a notebook open. A third chair is empty, angled slightly away like someone is expected and isn't here yet. The vice principal closes the door behind me and says, "Before we begin, I need to confirm something." She slides a single sheet of paper across the table. It's a printed email. My ex's name is at the top of the thread, and the first line I can read is, "Per our conversation, I'm requesting." I don't touch the paper. I just look at it, then look at them. Because whatever conversation happened, it didn't include me. The vice principal keeps her hand on the paper like it belongs to the school more than it belongs to the truth. The counselor sits to her right with a notebook open, pen resting across the page. The empty chair at the far end of the table stays angled away, like someone was supposed to be here and decided not to show up. The printed email thread is face up between us. My ex's name in the header, the school's reply beneath it, a chain of polite sentences that feel like a lock clicking shut. The vice principal says, "We're going to review the safety protocol first." I don't touch the paper. I keep my hands on my lap. My visitor badge pulls at my sweater when I breathe. "What safety concern?" I ask. The counselor clears her throat. "When a child expresses confusion or distress about pickup arrangements, we have to ensure they feel secure." "My daughter asked a question," I say, "about her father." The vice principal nods like that's the same thing as a threat. Questions can indicate instability at home. I watch her mouth form the word instability like it's a category on a form. I don't argue. I don't say, "That's not fair." I slide my manila folder onto the table instead, gently, and open it. Inside are the screenshots. The roster printout with restricted, the after-school care invoice, the mediation schedule screenshot, the officer's reference card number written on a sticky note. The vice principal's eyes drop to it, then lift back up. "We can't accept photos as official documentation," she says. I nod once. "Then print your records," I say, "and we'll compare." The counselor scribbles something. The sound of pen on paper is loud. The vice principal straightens her stack of papers like she's organizing the room back into obedience. The father informed us he had concerns. "Did he provide a court order?" I ask. The vice principal's mouth tightens. "He said one was forthcoming." "So no," I say, quiet. The counselor looks up for the first time, like she's about to soften this. "It's not about taking sides," she says. "It's about preventing harm." I look at the printed email again. The first visible line reads, "Per our conversation, I'm requesting restriction of release pending verification." "Who did he talk to?" I ask. The vice principal doesn't answer right away. She reaches over and pulls the paper back toward her, then flips to the next page. "This was initiated through the registrar," she says. "I met with the registrar," I say. "She told me no order was provided." The vice principal's eyes flicker. "Just a fraction." The counselor shifts in her chair. The chair legs scrape the tile. That sound again, like every office has the same noise when people get uncomfortable. The vice principal says, "Our process is to confirm with the contacts on file." "The contacts he changed," I say. A pause. The counselor's pen stops. Her fingers tighten on it, then loosen. The vice principal exhales. We can request documentation from both parents, she says. Until then, we restrict release. Then what happens today? I ask. The vice principal's voice stays even. The father will pick her up. My stomach drops, but I don't let it show on my face. No, I say, still calm. Today is my pickup day. She taps the paper with her finger, one quick controlling motion. According to the file, you are restricted. Infounded. I don't look away from her. According to your file, I correct. The counselor's eyes dart to the door, like she's thinking about witnesses, like she's thinking about what gets written down if voices rise. I keep mine low. I'm requesting a district review, I say. In writing. Today. The vice principal's eyebrows lift slightly, like she didn't expect me to say it that way. I slide the attorney's business card across the table. No speech, just the card, placed neatly next to my folder. The counselor's gaze drops to it and stays there a beat too long. The vice principal's jaw tightens. We're not refusing your request, she says, but until the district responds, we'll follow our protocol. I nod once. Then I do something that makes the room go quiet. I take my phone out, unlock it, and open the co-parenting app. I don't type a paragraph. I don't explain. I don't accuse. I turn the screen toward the vice principal the way she turned hers toward me yesterday. On it is his message from this morning. Meeting won't help. You're still restricted. I let it sit there. I don't add commentary. I don't point. The counselor inhales sharply and looks down at her notebook like she wants to disappear inside it. The vice principal's eyes flick across the words, then back to my face. That's between you and him, she says. I keep the phone in place. You're in it now, I say. For a moment, nobody speaks. You can hear the HVAC kick on. You can hear a hallway door close somewhere far off. Then there's a knock. The door opens without anyone saying, "Come in." A woman steps in holding a small recorder and a thin folder. She looks at the vice principal, then at me, then at the counselor's notebook. "Hi," she says. "I'm from the district office. I was told there's a release restriction issue." The vice principal's face goes still, and I realize he didn't just try to lock me out of pickup. He tried to control who gets to define what happened in this room. The district woman sets her thin folder on the table and doesn't sit down. She clicks a pen once, then looks at the vice principal. "Who placed the restriction?" she asks. "And based on what document?" The vice principal's posture stiffens. "We followed our protocol," she says, like she's reading from the same laminated sheet they hand parents at orientation. The district woman nods, not agreeing, just moving things forward. "I'm not here for protocol language," she says. "I'm here for the record." The counselor's chair scrapes lightly as she shifts. Her notebook stays open, but her pen isn't moving anymore. The district woman turns to me. "Miss Harper, you're the custodial parent?" "I have shared custody," I say. "And today is my pickup day." The vice principal starts to speak, but the district woman holds up a finger without looking at her. "We'll verify against the parenting plan," she says, separately. Then she turns back to the vice principal. "Show me the change request." The vice principal doesn't reach for it right away. She glances at the counselor, then at the empty chair like the absence might provide permission. Finally, she slides the printed email thread toward the district woman. The district woman reads fast. No facial reaction. Just eyes moving, lips pressed together. She flips the page, and the vice principal adds, "The registrar processed it." "Bring her in," the district woman says, like it's not a suggestion. The vice principal's mouth tightens. "She's at her desk." "Then bring her here," the district woman repeats. A minute later, Miss Simmons steps into the conference room with her manila folder tucked under her arm, keys jingling. She stops when she sees me, then looks at the district woman like she's trying to figure out what tone to use. The district woman doesn't give her one. "Did you update this student's release permissions on January 19th at 9:14 a.m.? she asks. Miss Simmons nods. "Once." "Yes." "Based on what?" the district woman asks. Miss Simmons hesitates. "A parent request." "Which parent?" the district woman says. Miss Simmons looks at the vice principal, then back. "The father." The district woman opens her folder and pulls out a single sheet, a system printout with lines of text and timestamps. She turns it so the vice principal and registrar can see. "Your changelog shows the request was submitted through the parent portal," she says. "Not just a phone call. It has an upload field. It has an attestation box. Miss Simmons blinks. He said he'd forward the order. The district woman's voice stays flat. Did he upload an order? Miss Simmons swallows. No. The room goes quiet in a way that feels different than before. Not tense. Heavy. The district woman reaches for my phone where it still sits on the table, screen dark now. She doesn't touch it. She just nods at it. You showed them a message, saying he believed this would stand, she says. That matters. The vice principal tries again. We can't take risks with student safety. The district woman turns her head slowly. You took a risk by restricting a custodial parent without documentation, she says, and then involving law enforcement. Nose. The counselor's pen finally moves, but only to underline something. Her hand trembles just enough that I can see it. Miss Simmons opens her mouth. We thought. The district woman cuts her off with a small motion. Don't, she says. Don't explain it. Bring me the original submission. Miss Simmons hurries out and returns with a printed form district template with checkboxes and typed fields. The same one I photographed yesterday. Student data change request. My name typed next to restrict release to. The district woman looks at the signature line, the scrawl, the date. Was this verified against court documentation? She asks. No, Miss Simmons says, quieter. The district woman takes the form, slides it into her folder, and writes something on a separate sheet. Her handwriting is blocky, official-looking. Here's what happens next, she says, and finally she sits down. The chair legs make a sharp scrape that makes everyone flinch. We are placing an administrative hold on release restrictions pending review, she says. The school will provide me with the full changelog, all communications with both parents and the staff users involved. The vice principal's face goes tight. Today? Within 2 hours, the district woman says, and if the father claims there's an order, he provides it to the district by end of day. My throat tightens, but I keep my expression still. The district woman looks at me. You will not confront him on campus, she says. Any exchange will be managed through the front office, calmly. I nod once. Then she looks back at the vice principal and registrar. And no one redirects the child from asking questions, she adds. If she has concerns, you document what she said. You don't shape it. The counselor's eyes drop to her notebook like she's been caught holding something she shouldn't. As the district woman stands, she taps her folder once. I'll be making a report, she says. This isn't informal. The vice principal's mouth opens, but nothing comes out. The district woman heads for the door, and just before she leaves, she turns back toward me. Miss Harper, she says. Do you have a copy of your parenting plan you can email me right now? I pull my phone up, thumb hovering over the screen. And I realize this is the first time since yesterday that the system has asked me for anything like my version exists inside it at all. I email the parenting plan from my kitchen table, laptop open, the manila folder spread out like a bad project. The district woman's address sits in the to line. I attach a PDF from the court portal, then attach the Screenshots Anyway calendar app, the school's roster printout, the after-school care invoice. I don't write a story. I write 3 sentences. Attached is the current parenting plan. Today is my scheduled pickup day. The school restricted release without a court order. I hit send and watch the little whoosh animation, like it means something. My phone buzzes 2 minutes later. District office. Received. Do not go to campus without confirmation. I set the phone face down and slide the folder closed, palm flat on top like I'm holding it together. At 3:08 p.m., the school calls again. This time it's not the secretary or the vice principal. It's the counselor. Her voice is softer than yesterday, like she's trying to smooth over a bruise without admitting there's one. Miss Harper, I wanted to let you know we're following the district's direction. Is my daughter coming home with me today? I ask. She hesitates, a small pause that answers before she does. We're waiting on confirmation from the district. Waiting on what? I say, when there's no order. Another pause. Paper shuffling. I picture her in that conference room with her notebook, writing down the parts that make the school look careful. We have to document everything, she says. Then document this, I reply. He filed a restriction request without an order. She doesn't answer that. Please don't come inside the building, she says. Wait in your car at dismissal. Someone will meet you. I look at the clock on my microwave. 3:11. Dismissal is at 3:30. I grab my keys, pick up the manila folder, and tuck it under my arm. At the school, I park in the visitor row, 2 spaces away from the flagpole. Parents are already lining up, engines running, heat blasting. A woman in a SUV eats fries out of a paper bag. A dad scrolls his phone with one hand on the steering wheel. Normal routines, like the ground isn't shifting under anyone. My phone buzzes. A message from my ex. "Don't come. District can't override me." I don't reply. I take a screenshot and slide the phone back down. A few minutes later, the vice principal walks out of the building, holding a clipboard. She stands on the sidewalk near the main doors, scanning license plates like she's counting inventory. When she reaches my car, she doesn't smile. She doesn't lean down close. She stays upright, procedural distance intact. "Miss Harper," she says, voice even, "we've been instructed to manage release through the office." I nod once. "I'm here." End quote. She holds the clipboard against her hip. The father is also on the way. My hands tighten on the steering wheel, but my face stays still. "I'm not interacting with him," I say. "We need to avoid escalation," she replies, like she's reading the same line again. I reach into the passenger seat and pull the manila folder closer. I take out one paper, the roster printout, and hold it where she can see the word restricted. "I'm not escalating," I say. "I'm documenting." 18. Her eyes flick to the paper, then back to me. She doesn't take it. "I have to follow instructions," she says. "From who?" I ask. "The district or him?" Her jaw tightens. "The district said no confrontation." "That's not what I asked," I say. She doesn't answer. She just looks past me toward the parking lot entrance. A car turns in. Slow. Familiar. My phone buzzes again. A new notification email. Subject: Administrative hold student release restriction. From District Office. I tap it open with my thumb, screen bright against the late afternoon light. It's brief. Effective immediately. Release restriction is under administrative hold, pending review. School must follow parenting plan for release. No flourish, no apology. Just a line that changes what people are allowed to do. I lift the phone slightly so the vice principal can see. I don't say, "See?" I don't add anything. Her eyes scan the words. Her face goes rigid for half a second. Behind her, the familiar car rolls closer to the curb. And for the first time, I don't feel like I'm waiting for permission. I'm waiting to see what he does when the system stops obeying him. The vice principal steps back from my window like she needs space from the email. She turns, clipboard tucked tight against her ribs, and walks toward the front office doors with that same controlled pace. I watch her go, then glance at the parking lot entrance again. His car has stopped along the curb, angled like he owns the lane. He doesn't get out right away. He sits there with his hands on the wheel, looking straight ahead, like he's waiting for someone to come tell him the world still works the way he arranged it. Parents keep pulling in and out. Engines idle. A kid drops a water bottle and it rolls under a sedan. Normal sounds wrapped around something sharp. My phone buzzes again. Another text from him. "Show me the email." I don't answer. I tilt my phone down and lock the screen, then place it face down in my lap. The adhesive visitor badge on my sweater has started to peel at one corner, curling like it's trying to get off me too. The front doors open and the counselor steps outside. She's holding a small stack of papers and a walkie-talkie clipped to her waistband. She looks both ways, then walks to my car. "Miss Process. Harper," she says, and her voice is quieter than it was on the phone. "We received the district directive." I nod once. "We're going to release your daughter to you," she says, and then she adds quickly, "through the office door on the side, not the main pickup line." I look past her shoulder to where his car is parked. "He's here," I say. The counselor's mouth tightens. "We're notifying him." "Don't," I say, and it comes out sharper than I intended. I soften it without apologizing. "Don't involve me in that. Just follow the plan." She nods, eyes flicking away. "Please stay in your car. We'll bring her out." I watch her walk back toward the building, the walkie-talkie bouncing against her hip with each step. She disappears through the doors. Across the curb, his door opens. He steps out wearing a button-down like it's a meeting, not a school pickup. He shuts the door and stands with his arms loose at his sides, scanning for staff. When he sees me in my car, his head tilts slightly, like he's surprised I'm still there. He starts walking toward me. I don't get out. I don't wave. I don't glare. I don't roll my window down. I just sit with both hands on the steering wheel, eyes forward, like I'm waiting at a stoplight. He stops at the edge of my hood, close enough that I can see the tight line of his mouth. He gestures toward the phone in my lap through the windshield, palm up, demanding, "I don't move." His lips form words I can't hear. His jaw works like he's trying to keep it from snapping. A couple of parents glance over. A kid swings his backpack too close to a car and his mom yanks him back. Eyes are on and off us in quick flashes, the way people watch trouble without admitting they're watching. The side door of the building opens. The vice principal appears first, holding a clipboard like a shield. The counselor is behind her. And then my daughter steps out between them, backpack on, hair a little frizzed like she's been inside too long. My chest tightens, but I don't let it spill out of my face. I open my car door and step out slowly, keeping the door between me and him. My daughter sees me and moves faster. The counselor reaches for her shoulder, then stops herself, letting her come. I crouch slightly, and my daughter presses into me, hard, arms tight around my waist. Her backpack bumps my knees. "Mom," she says into my sweater. I hold her for 2 seconds longer than normal, then straighten. I don't look at him yet. I look at the vice principal. "She's released to me," I say, not as a question. The vice principal nods, eyes flicking to her clipboard. "Per district directive and current parenting plan," she says, voice stiff. He steps forward. "This is ridiculous," he says, loud enough for the counselor to hear. "You can't just—" The vice principal raises a hand. "Sir," she says, and her tone changes more procedural, less polite. "The district placed an administrative hold. We must follow it." He turns toward her. "You told me." "I told you we follow documentation," she cuts in. My daughter's hand slides into mine. Her fingers are sweaty. She squeezes like she's checking if I'm real. I start walking her toward my car without looking at him. No speech. No warning. Just movement. Behind me, his voice tightens. "So you're just gonna walk away?" I don't turn. The counselor says something low I can't make out. A radio crackles. The vice principal's clipboard shifts. I open my car door for my daughter, help her climb in, and buckle her seatbelt. The click is loud and clean. As I lean back out, I finally look up. He's standing near the curb, face set, watching me like he's waiting for me to give him the reaction he planned for. My phone buzzes in my lap again. I don't check it. I close my daughter's door. And right as I step around to the driver's side, the vice principal calls out behind me, voice flat. "Miss Harper," she says, "the district is requesting the full communication trail." I pause with my hand on my door handle, because I know what that means. They're not just reviewing the school's mistake. They're pulling on the thread he used to tie my hands. The district office lobby smells like copier toner and winter coats. A row of plastic chairs lines one wall. A water cooler gurgles every few minutes like it's clearing its throat. On the other side of the room, a receptionist sits behind glass with a small microphone and a sign that says, "Please have ID ready." I keep my manila folder tucked under my arm. My daughter's backpack is at my feet, her lunchbox clipped on the handle like any other day. She swings her legs on the chair next to me, shoes not touching the floor. Across the lobby, he stands near the check-in window, shoulders squared, phone in his hand like a weapon. He keeps glancing at the door, waiting for someone important to appear and confirm he was right. When the district woman steps out, the whole room tilts toward her without meaning to. She doesn't greet him first. She doesn't greet me first. She walks straight to the receptionist window and hands over a folder. "Conference room B," she says. The receptionist presses a button and a door buzzes open. He moves immediately, cutting in front of the chairs like he owns the hallway. "I need to speak to you," he says to the district woman. She doesn't slow down. "You will," she replies, flat. Inside the conference room, there's a long table and a wall-mounted monitor. 2 district staff members are already there, laptops open. The district woman gestures to the seats without ceremony. I sit with my folder in front of me, fingers resting on the edge. My daughter stays in the lobby with the receptionist district policy. They told me so the room is all adults and paperwork. He sits across from me, too close to the center, like positioning matters more than facts. The district woman stands at the head of the table and plugs in her laptop. The monitor wakes up. "I'm going to walk through the submission trail," she says. He leans back. "This is being blown out of proportion." Yesly. No one responds to that. On the screen, a page loads, a parent portal submission form, time-stamped, the same date, the same morning. The district woman points with a pen, not her finger. "This is the restriction request," she says. submitted through the portal. He frowns like he's seeing it for the first time. I told them I'd provide the order. The district woman clicks. A second page appears in Upload Documents section with a blank field. This field is empty, she says. He opens his mouth, then closes it. She clicks again. A small checkbox appears near the bottom of the form. I attest the information provided is accurate. The box is checked. The room goes quiet. Even the laptops seem to stop making noise. The district woman reads the next line without looking up. This attestation was required to submit. He shifts in his chair. It's a formality. It's a statement, she corrects, calm, attached to a restriction on a child's release. And when one of the staff members turns their laptop slightly, we also pulled the email thread, they say, and the registrar changelog. The district woman nods. Show it. A district staffer puts up an email chain on the monitor. It's short, clean, his message at the top. Per our conversation, I'm requesting restriction of release pending verification. Under it, the registrar's reply, processed. Please provide documentation when available. Then a message from him, later that same morning. Understood. I will forward the order. No attachment, no follow-up, just words. He sits very still, but his foot starts tapping under the table like it's trying to find an exit. The district woman turns to him. You represented there was a custody concern requiring restriction, she says. You did not provide an order. You checked the attestation box. He lifts his chin. I was trying to protect my child. Idiousness. From what? She asks. Specifically, he looks at me. Not the district woman. Me. He's waiting for me to react. To deny. To argue. To plead. I don't. I keep my hands on the table. I look at the monitor, not his face. The district woman watches him for a beat, then looks down at her folder. We're not doing a feelings discussion, she says. We're doing administrative action. He leans forward. So what now? You're going to punish me because she... He jerks his head toward me. Showed up and caused a scene? One of the staff members glances at the district woman, then says quietly, The police call is logged. The denial of pickup created a fee. The restriction was applied without documentation. He opens his hands like he's offering reason. It was temporary. The district woman's voice stays flat. Temporary actions can have permanent effects. She flips to the last page in her folder and slides a document across the table toward him. Effective immediately, she says. You will no longer be permitted to make unilateral changes to student release permissions. His face tightens. You can't do that. We already did, she says. He reaches for the paper. His fingers hover, then clamp down on it like it might disappear. And, she adds, this submission trail and the attestation will be provided upon request to family court. He looks up fast. Why would it go to court? The district woman doesn't answer him. She looks at me instead. Miss Harper, she says, your counsel requested the communication archive. It will be released today. I nod once. I don't say thank you. I don't say anything at all. Across the table, he's staring at the paper in his hands like it's finally speaking back to him. And in the lobby, through the thin wall, I hear my daughter laugh at something the receptionist says small and bright like she has no idea what just shifted. The next Monday, I'm back in the same pickup line like nothing happened. Same stretch of curb, same flagpole, same parents inching forward with their blinkers on. A dad in a baseball cap lifts his hand in a quick wave to someone I don't know. Someone's car radio leaks a weather report through a cracked window. I keep both hands on the steering wheel and my eyes on the side door the counselor used last week. On my passenger seat, my manila folder is thinner now. Not because the story is smaller, but because it's been copied, archived, and filed somewhere that doesn't need me to perform for it. The district email sits printed inside it, creased once down the middle. The administrative action notice is behind it, stapled at the corner like a quiet warning. My phone buzzes. I don't pick it up right away. The side door opens and the vice principal steps out with a clipboard. She scans the line, then walks toward my car. Her face is neutral, but her steps are slower than usual, like she learned something about rushing. Miss Harper, she says through the cracked window, we updated the release list. I nod once. Okay. She doesn't try to explain. She doesn't say, sorry. She only holds the clipboard up so I can see the page. My daughter's name is printed in a neat row. Under it, 2 columns, release to and change permissions. My name is there under release. And in the other column, there's only one line: district hold. The vice principal lowers the clipboard like it weighs more than paper. Any changes go through the district, she says. I nod again. A car pulls up behind me and idles too close. The exhaust smell seeps in through my vents. The world keeps doing what it does. Is he here? I ask, still looking at the clipboard. The vice principal's eyes flick past me toward the entrance road. He checked in at the office last week, she says carefully. He was informed of the process. Informed, I repeat. She doesn't react to my tone. He's allowed to be listed as a contact, she says. He is not allowed to change permissions. I let that settle. Contact, not control. The vice principal steps back, and the line inches forward. When my daughter comes out, she's talking before she reaches the car, words spilling out like she's been holding them in all day. She slides into the back seat, backpack thumping the door, lunchbox clinking against the buckle. Mom, she says, breathless. Miss Allen said I can ask questions now. I glance at her in the mirror. She's smiling, but her eyes look like they're checking me, like she's making sure a rule didn't change again while she wasn't looking. What questions? I ask. She shrugs, then fiddles with the strap on her backpack. Like, if something doesn't make sense, end quote. My hands tighten on the wheel for a second, then loosen. We drive home with the heater on low. She tells me about spelling words and a kid who spilled milk at lunch and how the class pet hamster escaped its cage for 3 minutes and everyone screamed. Normal things, laid over the outline of a week that wasn't normal at all. At home, she runs inside ahead of me, shoes kicked off in the hallway like always. I stand at the kitchen counter and take my folder out one last time. I don't open it. I slide it into a lower cabinet, behind the slow cooker, where it won't be seen but it won't be lost either. My phone buzzes again. Same number, same name. I pick it up this time, but I don't unlock it. The notification preview shows only the first few words. We need to talk about. I turn the phone over and set it face down on the counter. No message bubble, no typing indicator, no opening a door he's trying to stand in. Behind me, my daughter laughs at something on TV, high and bright. I reach for a clean plate in the cabinet and set it on the counter, then another, like building a routine brick by brick. The phone stays dark, and for the first time, the silence feels like mine.